Hey, welcome to the Heavy Sweater Podcast. My name is John King. If this is your first time listening, this is the Heavy Sweater Podcast, a deep dive in the beginnings of musicians and bands of the heavy variety. This week, you already know, you read the description. Stix Zadinia from Panther. Really fucking cool dude. Really cool guy. Cool band. This was recorded before their Australian tour, and this is released the Wednesday after I put out the podcast. If you're interested in listening to the audio version of the podcast, search Heavy Sweater Podcast on wherever you listen to your podcast, whether it be Spotify, Apple Podcasts, whatever Google's platform is, Podbean, even YouTube. It is everywhere. And I've taken a break from doing the video version. I figured this would be the best way to launch it again, is doing Stix's episode and then going back and releasing ones I've recorded previously and released previously. So be on the lookout for that. Anyway, with all that being said, this is the podcast. I can't even say a day because, you could be watching this any day. I don't know. Anyway, this is the Heavy Sweater Podcast, and you know what that means. Fucking yo!
Early.
Yeah, dude. Hey, man, how you doing?
I'm good. I'm gonna take these things off though, because these aren't cool.
No, they're cool as.
It's John, right?
Yeah, man, John.
All right. Fucking, do you go by Juan when you're trying to get the ladies?
Only in the South Americas.
Yeah, I like that.
Yeah,
But
gotta stay local.
I support it because you look Latin American.
Do I?
Oh,
Awesome, sick. Yeah, cool. Rad. Well, this is a podcast deep diving into beginnings of musicians and humble beginnings and all that. So I guess if you're down, we'll go straight back to the beginning and what's the first sort of not so much heavy, but song you heard you were like, fuck, that's pretty cool.
like when I was a kid.
Yeah. Little Stix.
Little Stix, little
Yeah.
mini,
Yeah.
little twig.
Yeah. Twigs it in you.
Zadinia.
Yeah.
The first song I remember hearing and going, what the fuck, was Black Dog by Zeppelin.
Okay, sick.
I remember hearing fucking, hey, mama said the way you move, gonna make you sweat, gonna make you groove. And then all of a sudden, and I was like, what in the Jesus Lord God,
Yeah.
almighty heaven, creations and earth above ground, is fucking happening in my head?
Yeah, blues metal.
And I remember, and then I remember hearing fucking because that song, it comes in and it goes out, and then breakdown, and fucking, I just remember going, that it just went in, in, and it stuck, and I went, that's my shit.
Yeah, fuck yeah. That's sick.
As a kid, I remember going, what? I was on my friend Dave's front porch. He had a fucking radio, big portable speakers and shit.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh my God, we were all hanging out. And it was awesome.
Yeah, fuck yeah. Sick. Just a bunch of kids hanging out listening to Zeppelin.
Kids hanging out, listening to Zeppelin. I was one of the younger ones on the porch, and I remember they were playing Black Sabbath, they were playing Zeppelin, and I remember, and Scorpions, and I remember hearing Zeppelin out of all of it. And eventually I ended up loving all of it. But
yeah. That's wild. Zeppelin's sick. I don't think I've spoken to heaps of fucking people. Zeppelin's never come up once. So I think we should dive into that.
We must have a bad connection, John, because it sounded like you said Zeppelin hasn't come up much.
Yeah. No, I don't think at all.
Who the fuck? How?
I don't know. But when I was a kid, I'm 27 now, I remember getting Jimmy Page's autobiography in high school. I was grade 7. So I was reading that in school. Every other kid was doing whatever the fuck, they would have been losers, and I was just reading about Jimmy Page and the Young Birds and all this shit, and I was like, this dude is so sick. And then going on LimeWire, giving my computer AIDS, and just like listening to like rock and roll and like the Immigrant Song and like all that, just like getting bangers from Zeppelin and just being like, this band is wild.
Dude, it was 4 dudes,
Yeah.
16 tracks, and fucking power.
Yeah.
Every dude in that band was a powerhouse. And then
Yeah.
together, like, you know, they just had that thing, and it was like mysterious, and there was
Yeah.
like black magic around it kind of vibe.
They were like doing like this, like all the signage and everything where you're like, is this band into Satan?
I'm telling you, those times, like bands, including our band, bands are so accessible now. Like, you know, and I'm not trying to sound like an old curmudgeon.
No.
Back in the day, you couldn't tweet to a band. You couldn't direct message a band. You couldn't go, oh, I want to pay for a meet and greet. Tell me how.
Yeah.
You know, I'm appreciative of that to a degree, but I think that the mystery of rock and roll is gone.
Yeah, it makes it a lot less dangerous. Like I was thinking the other day, like in terms of sound now, like a band like Guns N' Roses at the time were like a dangerous band in terms of their image. But listening to them now, there's bands that are like way more heavy and way more like aggressive than that band ever was. But it was the mystery behind them as a band.
Totally agree with you, man. Like, you couldn't just tweet to Axl and go, hey, Axl, that's a cool bandana. Where'd you get it? And then, well, I got it at Target.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah, no way.
Get it. And then the rumors on the street, and everybody's talking. It was an exciting, it was a very exciting, mysterious time. And I think that's missing. And like I said, I'm guilty of it too. I'm on the Twitters.
Yeah.
I'm on the Instagrams. I don't do it all that often, but I miss that.
Yeah.
I miss
Yeah, unfortunately the industry's changed like so much that like now it's kind of a standard. You have to be on social media and you have to be interacting with fans on a regular basis.
You're not getting a deal unless you have the right numbers. Like,
yeah.
Oh, cool. I heard that song. It's a smash hit, but wait, how many followers do you have?
What do your socials look like? Yeah.
Fuck. You know what? I'm gonna say it out loud right to you, John.
Yeah.
But not to you. I'm gonna say it with you.
Yep.
Fuck that.
Yeah. Yeah. I didn't like pick up a guitar being like, I can't wait to have a bunch of Instagram followers.
Dude, nobody picks up a guitar and goes, oh my God, this is gonna explode my profile.
Yeah. Yeah. And if they do, they're a fucking loser.
Yeah, you pick up drumsticks or guitar, you sing because you want pussy.
Sure.
Like, when I was a kid, I play piano, right?
Yeah.
As a kid, if we're talking about going back in the day,
Yeah.
Little junior high school parties and whatever, and there was a piano there, and I would sit down and start playing, and I would notice that girls would go like, oh, he's playing piano, and they sit there. It's cute. I was like, I put it together fast. I was like, if I do this, they do that.
Yeah.
And then I was like, I get it. The light bulb went on.
Sick.
Dude, besides loving music,
That helps.
You have to, especially now, dude. You have to love it so much to want to be a professional musician because the business has changed so much.
Yeah, definitely. Where like, it's not about like, oh, you just pick up a guitar and like you maybe play a couple of chords and randomly come across a hit. You have to like eat, sleep, and breathe music.
Yeah, man. Like if I do talk to young musicians, and oftentimes I do because bands will open for us, and we're not younger than a lot of bands. Yeah. But I'll offer the advice. Do it. Expect nothing.
Yeah.
Hope for everything.
Yeah, for sure.
And do it because you absolutely love it. Because otherwise, you're gonna just be disappointed.
Yeah, yeah. There's a lot of like, I keep telling people like to want to be a musician, especially starting on like a local level, you have to like be prepared to eat a lot of shit on the way up.
Absolutely. And here's the thing, you got to be nice to who you work with on the way up, because you're seeing them on the way down, bro.
Yep. Yeah, 100%.
I mean, most bands will do this at some point.
Yep.
And you're gonna see them, and if you're a dick, it ain't gonna be good for you.
They're not gonna forget. I don't forget people that have been dicks to me.
No, hell no.
Yeah.
There's been some dicks, but there's a lot of cool people along the way.
Heaps of cool people.
And I'm grateful. Like, I'm grateful for all of the, the people who make the show go, the roadies, crew, all that stuff. So it's pretty cool.
Yeah, fuck yeah. Sick. Well, so that's where music starts for you, and that sets off something in your brain where you're like, fuck yeah, music's sick. But what's the band that, because I've heard the story of like where you started playing drums, you went to a friend's place and you had a Pearl kit there, and you were like, what the fuck? And then like, yeah. So like, what's the band that makes you be like, I want to play drums for the rest of my life?
You know, I don't know that it was necessarily a band that
Okay.
made me want drums or a drummer per se,
Okay.
as much as it was the feeling that I got from playing, because
Okay.
just remember it was more about a feeling. I mean, I got turned on to a lot of music, and I remember, loving the aggression of the drums, and you get to hit stuff, and that's, I think I probably ended up not in jail because I played drums at some point.
Yeah.
It was more about the feeling of playing the drums more than an artist or a drummer, though. Stuart Copeland from the Police was a huge influence for me, and John Bonham obviously was a huge influence for me. And you know who else was a huge influence? Rod Morgenstein from Winger.
Okay. Wild.
In a band called the Dixie Dregs at one point, and they were funky, and like he is a phenomenal drummer. So those were three of my big ones.
Okay, sick. Wild. Cool. Fuck yeah. Police is like out there for like the rest of the bands.
I
but
know,
Police
man.
is sick.
You listen to Stuart Copeland.
Yep.
He had such aggression, and he played he just tasty all over the place.
Yeah. Like
and
a big sound.
He would rush, and he would slow down his tempo. His tempo was not like, his tempo was him. Like you could hear him, and you could hear the songs breathe and get gnarlier.
Yeah.
And that was how he played, and I thought it was so cool.
Fuck yeah. The drummers that are more of a vibe than a ability.
He's technical, but he's a super vibe drummer. Both of them on vibe too.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah.
Anything technically, but like I prefer a vibe more than I prefer, like, dude, I'll just tell you, I see these kids on Instagram. Yeah. Now I sound like an old
the shreddy fucking
the Instagram chops. That shit. And from a technical standpoint, I go, I can't do that.
Yeah.
That's but you would never do that in a song and have somebody go, yeah, man, I'm feeling that.
Yeah. Yeah.
Just go, whoa. It's unbelievable. But when it comes to like playing with other people, music together, about a vibe instead of like always showing off.
Yeah, I'm a firm believer in that. When I was like super young, I remember watching this like random My Chemical Romance interview, and one of the guitar players, Frank Iero, was like, it's not about how like technically you can play, but what you play.
Dude, it is. I agree. And for a lot of years, I thought his name was Frank Lero.
Oh, sick.
Looks like a lowercase
L. Yeah.
But I figured out like a week and a half ago that it's not.
Sick.
And he's smart because he's right. It's funny. It's like it's as much about what you play as much as it is about what you don't play. Like space between notes. Yeah. That's where songs just breathe. And I said that before, but like if the song just is like that's why like when you hear a song now that's mixed and mastered, if you look at the waveform, generally it'll just like a line, like a big thick bar, because the dynamics, they just squash the shit out of it and they want it to get loud. Yeah. You put on Back in Black or Animal Magnetism by Scorpions or any records that were made pre-digital, right? Yeah. And the waveform goes like this. Yeah. The songs like have this pulse and feel that I think is missing from a lot of stuff. But there are bands that I'll tell you what, the newest Limp Bizkit record,
so good,
sounds unbelievable.
Yeah.
Unbelievable.
Yeah, it's great.
Yeah, I'm gonna drop a name. I called Fred and Sweet. I said, He's a homie. He's such a fucking. I love Fred.
Yeah. Sick.
Fuck mixed your record, dude.
Yeah. Yeah.
So good, and I
Yeah.
can't remember, but it's in my phone. It sounded amazing. I was
Yeah.
blown away. Like there are bands, currently making that effort to sound,
Yeah. Yeah.
But I think a lot of bands, I think a lot of bands forget, like it's not about the volume. It's not about what you're, as much as you can do. It's about
Yeah.
in between the shit.
Yeah. What like the message the song can convey, whether that be a feeling or more than lyrical content.
Yeah, it's just like, how are you listening to something and it's making you feel a certain way instead of like,
Yeah. Yeah. Just noise.
place for everything. But for me, it's always about a vibe.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah. Well, it's like it's art, so it's meant to make you feel something instead of just like putting it on to not feel anything.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm with.
Yeah, fuck yeah. Cool. Well, I don't want to get into like the like every other interview thing. I want to like kind of go a different route with this and like because like you guys grew up. What was that?
I was 16 and it was amazing.
Yeah, sick. Awesome. But like for music, because like you guys were in an era starting off with like the like metal school and metal shop being like a 90s cover act in a time period where it was more about like the new metal side of music. I want to like figure out more about that. Like what was the industry like receptive to that at the time or
so I think you meant then 80. We were 80s.
yeah, 80s, not 90s.
Right?
Dummy.
I just want to make sure I'm answering the right question.
Yeah. Sorry.
So it wasn't long after the 80s that we started, getting residencies. I mean, we had been playing like forever. I've been doing this for about twice as long as you are old.
Sick.
And it was funny because in the 90s, when we started doing the residencies, grunge was very, very popular.
Yeah.
There were people who would come to the show because they were just going out that night.
Yeah.
And they would see us and they're like, what the fuck are we watching?
Yeah.
We were doing songs, we were doing songs by Whitesnake and Rat and Dio, Dokken and all our favorites.
Yeah.
And for us, it's always been a thing of love because we all were in that scene, like and we found that there was there's a lot of people, as many people didn't get it or hated it. There kept becoming more people who liked it.
Yeah.
And by we were this weird thing that people kept coming to, and then during our residencies they kept coming and kept coming, and then celebrities would come because it was in Hollywood. We started at the Viper Room.
Yeah.
And because celebrities come, people want to see, what's the celebrity? And we just happened to be the vehicle for that.
Okay.
And when we were doing all covers, and then Satchel, so we all write, but Satchel's the majority writer for Steel Panther, and so he's like, we should do some original songs, and we're like, okay. And he wrote Community Property, Death All But Metal.
Yeah.
And we started playing them during the shows.
Sick.
What we were seeing was people were reacting to those songs equally as well as the covers, and we're like, the light bulb went on. We're like, holy shit. And then we noticed they started singing the words to Sick. Community Property or Fact or whatever.
Yeah. Bangers. All bangers.
Yeah. And we just, it was enough for us to just keep going. And it felt like we were sort of black sheep, I guess, for lack of a better term, in the music industry. And at first it was like, some people would just write off, those guys.
Yeah.
But people kept coming, and then it became something the industry couldn't deny.
Yeah.
Fast forward to, we did Viper, Roxy, Key Club. Now we're packing the Key Club every week, 1,500 every Monday night. Like, who does that, right?
Yeah. On a school night.
Changing the landscape of booking on Monday nights in Hollywood, because if you had a rock show, you didn't want to book it anywhere else because everyone was coming out to our show.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, that's just where we all go. So
Yeah.
Universal came and because they didn't want to miss the boat, and they came and offered us a record deal. We had no intention of getting a record deal.
Yeah.
We said yes, and that was the beginning of the explosion outside of Hollywood.
Yeah. Fuck yeah. Sick.
It was awesome. Dude, it was like the story of it. At some point, there will be a book, I'm sure.
Yeah.
But the story of what we have been able to accomplish to this point, and there's still much more to do, I'm very proud of.
Yeah, for sure. You should be. Because like reading up on it and like hearing about it, like at that time, the 90s, like grunge kills off 80s hair metal, and by the end of the 90s, new metal's like the thing. And you guys are just being like, fuck that. Let's keep playing these rad songs from the 80s, even into like the early 2000s, and that's what works. Like the industry had like technically kind of moved on, but you were like, fuck that, this shit's still sick.
Yeah, we did. We felt like, we were just like, we didn't understand how you could just like stop liking it, because we always loved it, and that's what we love to play. And it's and that time period was so fun, and the vibe was so fun, and fucking there was so much ridiculous shit in the best way. Like we didn't want to just go, we didn't want to follow what was happening. And look, kudos to those bands, wrote really killer songs, wrote some really shitty songs, just like every other fucking band.
Yeah.
But it just wasn't our shit. We were just like, we do this,
Yeah.
we love this, and if you want to get on the bus is going. It's the heavy metal bus.
Yeah.
Yeah. You want to get on it, kill it. If you don't want to get on it, cool, but it's going.
Yeah. No, for sure. I feel like it's kind of like cooked that the industry was just like, that's done, we're on to something else. Because like when I discovered like 80s like hair metal, I was like, this stuff's awesome. Like Poison's sick, Guns N' Roses is sick, like Whitesnake's sick, like all these bands are rad. And then when I heard Steel Panther, it was 17 Girls in a Row. It was the lyric video for that, and the wham to the bam to the thank you ma'am, like, and it was wham bam Margera, and I was like, this band's fucking awesome. Like this band is so sick. I remember that. It's burnt in my brain.
That's amazing. You say Bam Margera, and we stayed at his house once
at Castle Bam.
Yeah, I think, I don't know.
Okay.
He had a big bar with a skate park.
Yeah. Yeah.
Dude, it was crazy.
I believe it.
He had a party, and it was where I first learned about cakefarts.com.
Okay.
You don't pretend you don't know what
I have no idea. Sounds rad.
I don't know if it's still a site, but I remember at this party at Bam Margera's house, this is going to be the headline, by the way, for your podcast.
Awesome.
We learned about cakefarts.com. And basically, it's a website where there's a cake, kitchen counter, and a naked chick, and she sits on it. Farts.
Hectic.
I'm just gonna let that sit right there.
Yeah, there's no false advertisement in that.
It's as direct as you get.
Yeah. There's no. I shouldn't have needed an explanation. I should have just assumed.
I kind of felt guilty about giving you one, but
that's it. Now I know.
I want to know when people listen to this, how many actually go to that website. If it is a website, right, are you going?
Yeah.
Go. Tell me if it's real anymore.
Okay. This is wild. My wife's gonna come home and be like, "What the fuck have you done?"
Search your history, bro. You are fucked.
Yeah.
Is it real?
No. It just sends me to Australian like slot machine sites, and then there's a site that says girl cake.
Oh, hold on. Cakefarts.com. Oh man.
It's not real?
No, hold on.
Oh.
No, wait. No, dude, they took it down.
Fuck.
Frozen.
Yeah. This is not the censorship we need.
I think we need to kick up cakefarts.com again.
Yeah, I mean, there's only one band in this world that can do it, and Steel Panther is that band.
Steel Panther presents.
Cake farts.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Actually, really sad. If anybody is listening to this and they remember cake farts, call me and we'll reminisce.
Yeah. Sick. Cool. Well, fuck yeah. We'll get into like the new stuff. You guys are coming to Australia real soon.
Dude, I'm on a plane in the next 36 hours.
Yep. Wild. Absolutely
Plane.
wild.
So Airbourne was here
Yeah.
in LA.
Okay.
And they were at the Troubadour, and Michael Starr and I went down there and we shot a little promo, and I think you should see it at any moment. It
Okay.
might be. But yeah, dude, we're stoked playing with fucking Airbourne.
Yeah, fuck yeah.
Those guys are like, they are badass. And you want to know how that came about?
How?
So originally we were supposed to tour with Seven Dust. That was the original thing.
Yeah.
And then they couldn't do it for one reason or another. And we were at Hellfest in Clisson, France.
Okay.
Airbourne there. We see them, hey dudes, because it's like when you see a lot of bands at festivals, it's like a summer camp. Oh, you see your friends.
Yeah.
And we're homies with those guys. And I said to Joel, I go, hey, what are you doing in October? And he goes, I don't know. And I go, okay, well, and so I go, if you're around, do you want to tour? And he goes, fuck yeah.
Yeah, sick.
And there's a hole in their schedule. And I put him up on the WhatsApp. And he goes, dude, let me fucking look into it. Hits me back. He goes, we're available.
Sick.
It just, for all those things to line up, is pretty crazy.
Yeah, that's wild.
Falls off. And I cannot wait to bring the fucking heat with this fucking package. And I'm not just saying that, like, I feel like we are the best at what we do. We are the best at throwing fucking party.
Definitely.
And I feel like they are the best rock and roll band out there right now. We're the best heavy metal band. They are the best rock and roll band. And together we're going to make heavy rock and roll metal.
Yeah. Rolled up metal.
Rolled up metal. Yeah. It's gonna be awesome. Like when somebody buys a ticket, you're buying a ticket to a fucking experience.
Yeah.
Not a concert. It's gonna be a thing from the time you get there to the time you fucking get home. You're gonna have a smile on your face. Your neck's gonna fucking hurt because you just got rocked. That's it.
I've experienced it in 2018.
Oh shit.
Yeah. At there was the Brisbane show at where was it? Eaton's Hill Hotel. Yeah, there. It was the last time you guys came here and you did your set, and then you did the cover set straight afterwards. And Steven Adler came up from Guns N' Roses. I was like, this is so sick. It was so rad.
That shit happens. Like, we always bring people up when they're around because we'll jam it. Because we're whores, John. We're fucked.
Yeah.
It's awesome, man. I'm excited. I'm fucking excited to come out.
Yeah. And the Brisbane show's already sold out, so that's sick.
I know.
Yeah, fuck yeah.
You coming to that one?
I haven't got a ticket, so unfortunately, no.
You got to work it out. You got to get on a press pass, bro.
That'd be sick.
All right, we'll talk to my guy and have him fucking reach out to me.
Right.
Or when we do this, fucking let me know.
Cool. Done. Right. Easy. That'd be sick. What was that?
Are you gonna bring your wife?
Yeah. All right. Yeah. I was expecting that as a response, so I like set myself up for it.
I gotta ask.
Yeah, dude. No, I fully get it. That's sick.
I'll be respectful. I'll be nice.
Yeah. She's a nice lady. She's a good broad.
Good.
Yeah. What was that?
You got a good one.
Yeah. Lucky man.
Good.
Right here. Nice. Yeah. Sick. Well, we'll get back into music. Yeah. We'll go because like everybody knows what happened after you got signed. You put out Feel the Steel, it blows up, you get put on Skate 3, that's rad. And then you just keep smashing out bangers. Like, I don't think any album you've released has been a miss. So we go back to the beginning, between, not the beginning, between. Where do you meet the guys, like getting through the local scene? I assume, because I've heard you have said like in other interviews that you kind of grew up in the same scene together. So like, was it all just like similar bands or just like bands sort of adjacent in the same scene?
Yeah, I mean, we were all LA guys.
Yeah.
Well, you know, originally, you know, everybody ended up in LA. I'm born and raised here.
Okay.
Uh, but we everybody ended up in the same sort of scene. Like we, it's hard to pinpoint how it happened.
Yep.
We just kind of like by osmosis, like we are all in different bands, and then this band would, you know, befriend this band, and then you just kind of get to know guys, and somehow through I know this isn't a very good answer, but just through a series of random, too many events to
Yeah.
remember, just we ended up just playing together
Yeah.
and realizing that there was something there, like there was a chemistry that was very clear. And I remember going, this is something. This is some shit. I felt it in my guts,
Yeah.
in my nuts. And
Yeah.
I was like, I'm here, bro. And we just kept going. And like it's funny, you know, we are pretty entertaining dudes
Yeah.
not playing music when, you know, and like when we were driving down to San Diego every week, we'd just be us four in a car.
Yeah.
And we try to make each other laugh the whole way down. So like doing a show or the extension of doing a show, it was not a far stretch for us because we were just doing what we did in a car, but it just happened to be on stage in front of, you know, 500 or 1,000 people at the
Yeah.
time. And, you know, that's it. Like, I can't remember really one moment. I mean, it was just like this slow burn of,
Yeah.
oh, yeah, well, I guess we're in a band now.
Yeah. Yeah. Just like friends within the scene from playing shows and then just hooking up. And then, yeah, that car ride stuff relates to me on like a such a deep level because my band just got back from tour like a month ago. And the entire time was just from when we left Brisbane to when we got home, it was just shit talking the entire time, just like saying things to make each other laugh.
Like a real band.
Yeah. 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 Every band can relate to that.
Yeah, dude, you know, it's those moments. It's funny. It's like a song. It's the in between shows moments. Like it's the stuff that happens in between that
Yeah. Yeah.
shit that forges a band, you know,
Yeah,
and
for sure.
shapes a band because everything's cool when you're on stage and people are going, fuck yeah, fuck yeah. That's
Yeah.
cool.
Yeah.
It's the in between stuff. You're like, all right, are we gonna fucking survive this?
Yeah, yeah. Because being cooped up in a car with three other dudes is pretty rough.
Yeah, dude. It ain't fucking easy.
Nah,
For
do
sure.
it
I
for
mean,
the
look, as you keep going and you climb and you climb and you climb and you climb, it gets a little bit easier because there's
yeah,
a little bit more budget to be a little more comfortable.
yeah,
But it's still a grind, dude.
yeah,
I mean, that trip I'm gonna make to Australia, it doesn't really matter. It's fucking not super easy,
yeah, yeah.
you know.
It's a
And then
big flight.
yeah, and then it's show, travel, day off.
Yeah,
It's a fucking like I don't know if people understand that um it's it's not a relaxing job.
no,
It's
no.
fucking hurry up and go and
Yeah,
and then try to find some peace
yeah,
where the next fucking psycho circus comes up.
yeah, yeah, yeah. It's a lot of like get to the show and then the stress of the show, and then show's done, and you're like, all right, fuck, now what? And
Yeah,
then try and get some sleep, travel to the next venue the next day, do the same thing over again.
that's what happens, I think, with a lot of artists and bands is like you go on tour and you have this fucking it's always like awesome for the most part, and it's tiring and it's exhausting, and then you come home and you don't have that daily people going, you're awesome, we love you, you're home,
Yeah,
and you're like, yeah, cat shit,
yeah,
and
literally, yeah,
you're washing dishes and
yeah,
you're doing all the things that fucking people do,
yeah,
and you're like washing a dish, you're like, I was just on stage the other night,
yeah,
we'll wash a dish on stage,
yeah.
plenty of it, you know.
Yeah, yeah. The assimilation back into normal life is not the best.
Fucking hard, man.
Yeah, it's rough. Especially like the not saying things just to make people laugh. Like I was just saying stuff like tour jokes to my wife, and she's like, "What the fuck are you talking about?" I'm like, "I don't know."
Yeah, you're like, oh yeah, sorry, you're not my bass player.
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
Dude, it's fucked up. And I think that's why a lot of people end up on fucking drugs at home because it kind of gives you that same rush. You're
the
like,
affirmation.
yeah, okay,
Yeah,
well, I don't because you know, it's fucking hard.
yeah. No
But
drugs here.
dude, I'm grateful for all of it.
Yeah,
Fuck it.
for sure. Yeah, it seems like as much as like the persona is like rock stars and everything, like you guys seem like you've come from like humble beginnings and like worked your ass off and did the grind for the love of the game to get to where you are today. So like it's all well deserved.
Thank you. We did 7 nights a week at one point. 7 fucking
Yeah.
nights a week. Show. Fucking crazy. And I don't know that if there's another band out there that has done more shows than Steel Band.
Probably not.
Dude, we used to do fucking so many shows, bro.
Yeah.
We
Yeah.
do like 275 shows a year.
That's mental.
It's crazy.
Yeah.
Fucking. But anyway,
It's all conditioning.
yeah, dude,
Yeah.
and we're built to rock.
Yeah, fuck yeah.
Great album title.
Yeah. Just write that down.
Yeah.
Yeah, fuck yeah. Sick, man. Well, we've got 5 minutes before this ends, and usually I'll do like top 5 favorite bands of all time, but I forgot to let you know that in the beginning. So if you could rattle them off if you know them, and we can get into certain bands if they spark anything in the conversation.
Led Zeppelin.
Yep.
Dio.
Yep.
I'm gonna say the Police.
Okay.
Hold on. Modern bands. Thornley. You probably never heard of them.
I don't think so.
And did I say Iron Maiden? Iron Maiden.
Iron Maiden, sick. Fuck
It
yeah.
is, but Iron Maiden.
Okay. Sick.
I remember when I heard Number of the Beast the first time.
Yep.
That was a note for me where I was like, "You are not a number."
Yeah.
When I heard that shit, who are you? The new number 2. Who is number 1? You are number 6. I am not a number. I am a free man. And then the drums come in.
Yeah.
Like, fuck, bro. By the way, if you're an Iron Maiden fan,
Yeah.
if you call yourself an Iron Maiden fan and you cannot recite the intro to that, you should go back and learn it.
Yep. Okay. I'm not a big Maiden dude. I respect them as a band, but to me, it just didn't hit the way it hit other people.
I totally get that's music.
Yeah.
I get that. But if you're a Maiden fan, you call yourself, if you're gonna wear a Number of the Beast shirt,
Yeah, you better know that intro.
you better know that intro, or you better know the lyrics to the intro to Run to the Hills.
All right. Sick.
Dude, we get people at our shows there being an Iron Maiden shirt. We'll go, come up, and they'll come up. They'll be an Iron Maiden shirt, and I'll start.
Yeah. Laying beats on them.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
you go, and I'm like, bro, you can't wear an Iron Maiden shirt.
Yeah. Kick him out of the venue.
Come on, man.
Yeah. Get him the fuck out of here.
Yeah.
Yeah, sick.
Those are my top 5.
Sick. Cool. Well, thanks for doing the podcast, man. It means a lot.
Dude, I appreciate you having me, man. I can't wait to get down there and let's figure out how to get you to the show.
That'd be sick.
All right, bro.
Cool.